Welcome to Wrestling with Fitness, a monthly accountability podcast collaboration of the For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network and Shotgun Wrestling Radio. Here are your hosts, Shotgun Wrestling Radio's Zach Takis and the Wizard CZ from the card, Subject to Change.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wrestling with Fitness. Sorry, Zach, I didn't mean to jump.
You're good, buddy.
You were going to run the show, and let me just get out of the way that we are hosted by the For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network, and they are sponsored by Ryan Allison Tattoo and Durham Remodeling. Now that I'm done plugging shit, take it away, Zach.
Oh, absolutely, my friend. It's great to be back with another monthly installment of Wrestling with Fitness this week. For those who do not know this man that's joining us here this week and why we're going to have him on, we're going to get into that in just a second. But I'm pleased to have one of my really good friends, Vinnie Cataldo, on the show with us. Vinnie, my man, you've been on your own health journey for quite some time, and it was actually because you posted a video of you. I think it was making the sheet pan burritos for the first time. Yes. Or one of the first videos that you posted was a sheet, and I saw that and I was kind of blown away. I was like, because it looked super easy. So I was like, shit, that looks super easy. And that's what made me kind of start, talking with you and how we kind of got, connected, and we've obviously seen each other at Des Moines wrestling shows, the IPW shows at the good old Forte Dome back in those good old days. I miss that venue so much.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I figure, like I said, man, we want to get you on here because you've been on a similar weight loss journey. So kind of want you to start off by telling us your story, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've always been a big guy, even as a kid, I was overweight. And I tried multiple different exercise routines and diet plans. And just nothing really worked out. And then I went off to college. The pandemic first hit in 2020, and you're not going outside, you're not doing anything. So you just sit inside and you're just lazy so much that you just lose that motivation to work out. You just are wanting to buy time. You just eat and, you put on that weight. And during the COVID, that was kind of the lowest point for me because I wasn't doing anything. I was working I worked at Hy-Vee at the time. And of course, you had to have the plexiglass, you had to have the mask. So it just wasn't working for me. So, I'd go back home, I just go to my room, play video games and sleep and eat. And, as that went on, I still gained some weight. And then once I went to college, that's where the biggest hit because I was just depressed. I was unmotivated. I was everything. And so I just would eat to, just to try to, unstress myself, especially from, being on my own for the first time. And the more I ate, the more weight I gained. I just lost all motivation to work out. I'd go to class and just immediately go back home and do nothing. So it got to that point where, I went to my doctor finally, and I was diagnosed with everything, cholesterol, blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic. And it was at that point that I was like, you know what, I have to do something. Otherwise it's I'm not going to live to be the age of my dad. So it was at that point where I started to say, okay, I need to get out of the slump because I want to be able to live long enough to have, nieces and nephews and, younger cousins. And I want to be there for them. So I started going on my fitness journey. I started to meal prep a little bit, not a whole lot. It wasn't really, I would fluctuate with weight so much. But it wasn't until I graduated that I eventually was like, okay, it's time to start, doing it now. We've graduated. We're on our own now, or we're going out to the real world. It's time to be a better person. So that's when I started to actually start meal prepping. I started to do, I looked up all those recipes from those guys, Stealth Health, Cookie for Gains, Nikita Fair, all those guys. And I saw that their recipes were simple. Mm-hmm. Simple. They make a week's worth of meals. So I was like, You know what? Let's do that. I had a new job. So I was like, I'm not going to go out eating all the time and ordering Subway and having it delivered. So it was at that point where I was like, you know what? I got to push myself now. I got a gym membership, been working with that for a long time. And eventually it got to the point where from my highest weight to now, I've dropped about 80 pounds.
Nice.
Excellent.
Attaboy. Are you doing anything else besides, like the dieting and the exercising, like like let's say like the Ozempic or anything like that? Are you also doing anything like that to kind of help give you that kick or anything, or no?
I did it for a little bit, but then I was like, I stopped doing it because I was like, I just felt like on it.
Yeah.
It was it wasn't working for me because like it makes you just feel like just disgusting. It's just like you're not eating anything, and like you're fatigued, you're out, you aren't feeling the best. So I did it for a little bit to kind of help myself get started, but then I gave it up, and eventually I just have started just doing my own thing now.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people gotta like realize. So I have nothing against the Ozempics or whatever else is out there for weight loss. That was just never something I wanted to do personally, because it's like I've done it before. I know I can do it. It's just a matter of, I think I heard the phrase, it takes like 3 months to actually get your routine, like a routine set. Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, that's the hardest part, is setting a routine. So like for me, last year, January 1st, I mean, I've had a gym membership, but I started last summer. By last fall, kind of around this time last year, I kind of just faded out a little bit and was just like, screw it. Yeah. And then finally by January again, I'm like, all right, we're gonna kick this into high gear. And January 1st, I was in the gym January 1st. And since then, I've been going 2 or 3 days a week, 2 days minimum to the gym every week since then. And it was around that time Chris and I started talking about doing this show. It was back in January of this past year. And yeah, like I said, it takes about three months for a routine. And my biggest thing that I can tell people too is try to go at the same day and the same time. I think that's really important for people. If you have to set a time, like that time, just so that time for you is to go to the gym. That's, I think, super important. And like for me, I'm usually there Mondays and Wednesdays after work, and then usually Sunday mornings kind of right away when the gym opens up on Sunday mornings. So that's
always kind of good to get going on Sunday, because like Sunday is always kind of like, for me, Sunday is always that, like, it's that one day a week that I don't have to do anything, because I work Monday through Friday, and then I have my other job Saturday morning, so I have to be up early for that. But Sunday is that one day where I can just do nothing, watch football all day, and scream at my fantasy team, But that is kind of a good thing for Sunday, like getting up right away, like when the gym opens, because it's like, get it done. Just get it done out of the way.
Yep. Yeah, now I've actually been thinking, since I switched my routine up because our schedule at home changed a little bit. I was going Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Now I'm going Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. I'm thinking about, and we'll see how I feel come tomorrow night, thinking about adding Friday mornings to my list, because I don't like having that 3-day stretch where I'm not in the gym from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I was thinking I might add Friday morning before work into my routine as well. So we'll see how I go. It might be one of those things where if I do it, I'm probably not going to like run on the treadmill. I'll probably just do a walk, as trying to get yourself to run at 5 in the mornings. Not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, right.
Zach, just out of curiosity, what made you change your routine days?
So actually my wife got sent back to the office a few days a week. So that kind of made us, so instead of me doing pickup or drop-offs in the morning, I had to do pickup in the afternoons for our son for school. So that kind of made us change our routine there a little bit. So I was like, all right, we'll change it up. But again, I'm still going at the same time. I'm still going right after work, because just for me, that just works easiest for me, just to go right after work usually. So
yeah, and I feel like it's that thing too of like, well, for me, because I just sit at a desk all day, and I'm like doing nothing. Like, so it's like I got to get up and get moving, because in this 8 hours I'm sitting, I'm not doing anything. My watch can tell me that I'm burning the calories, but it's like I'm not really doing anything.
Right.
So I have to get out and do something so I can, work off, throughout the day what I don't burn.
Right. I know, like, at least for me, and maybe your guys' work doesn't really allow this because they're super strict, but I know our work has actually said something about this. Make sure you're actually getting up from your desk and even just moving around, even if it's, for just a little bit. Because if you are just sitting there at your desk, I know, who was it, Chris, that we had on? Was it Justin Decent that said that, people always think they have bad knees, but it's just because people are sitting all the time. That's why we have quote unquote bad knees.
That sounds right. I believe you're correct there.
So I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. And usually when my watch yells at me to get up and move, I usually do. I'll get up and move a little bit because it's like once an hour that I get up and move, even if it's just for a couple minutes, just to get up and move. So that way you're not just sitting there.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And that's what sucks for me with my job. I work from home and I'm on the phones and we are during a super slow time. So I want to do my job. I want to enroll people in the company that I work for, but when there's an hour between calls, if I log out of the system to get up and walk around, I lose my spot and someone else gets that next call. So it kind of sucks that it's a catch-22. I want to get up and I want to move around. I do have to get up and use the restroom more often than I care to admit, but every time I do that, I log out of the system and my job suffers. But that's why I'm trying to do things outside of work. Emphasis on trying the last few weeks.
Well, now is going to be the time too for people that it's going to be really, really easy to get off your routine because we're going to here coming this weekend. It's going to be fucking dark come 5 p.m. And I don't know about you guys, but trying to get my ass out of the house when it's dark after 5 p.m. Oof.
Don't even. It's like it's one of those like don't even try. Like, it's dark. It's bedtime. Even though it's already bedtime.
It's dark right now. I want to go to bed.
See, exactly. Right.
I want to give a shout out to Coach Rosie in our chat room tonight. He's over there on Facebook saying we helped motivate him. So I appreciate that, Coach Rosie over there. Really, really appreciate you joining us here tonight. But yeah, this is the time of year I feel like it's going to be difficult for people because it's dark at 5 p.m. and you don't want to leave your house. It's dark, it's cold. And again, you got the holidays coming up too. All the holiday plans really can fuck you up big time.
Especially Halloween. I'm telling you right now, everybody's off their diet plan.
Oh yeah. Dude, get this.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, exactly. All the untaken candy is like, well, there's all this untaken candy, and I'm so I'm gonna just it's that thing, especially, and then like Thanksgiving comes like right around the. It's like not even a month later, and then Christmas is not even a month later either. So it's like you got like it's gonna be so inconsistent. That's why I feel like everybody does that whole thing when like the New Year's comes, where they're like, okay, all the holidays are done. We have nothing to worry about for Valentine's Day. I'm gonna get in this month and a half grind to get myself into the gym, and then
by March they're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that's what's annoying. That's what I try not to get too frustrated because I try to tell people every year or all the time that everybody's journey started somewhere. So it's like, well, we're getting frustrated that the gym's getting quote unquote overcrowded. Just tough it out for those few weeks because they'll start to trickle out. They will. It always happens. They'll start to trickle out, but. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, start like January 1st. You probably will not even be able to get on a machine. End of January, you'll have all the machines to yourself.
Yeah,
that's basically how it goes, which is so funny.
So like we're talking about Halloween, and it's like talking about we were driving home the other day, and we went past this one house, and you want to talk about a baller move? This dude has a sign up in his front yard that legit says full-size candy bars on Halloween. I looked at my kid. I'm like, you're going to that house on Halloween. You know that,
right? It's like you're gonna get a 2-for-1 deal, okay? You gotta get one for yourself and one for me.
Yep. But I'm like, that is a baller move to advertise that you're gonna have full-size candy bars.
That's gonna be the talk of the town for sure.
Well, it's like you guys remember as kids, everybody knew the house that had the full-size candy bars. You always had at least one or two that your friends were like, dude, we need to come here because this person always gives out full size.
Mm-hmm. Or it's just not even a house, like a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, because since I live in Des Moines, there's always that neighborhood that's going to have all the full-size candy. And you got to eat. But the thing is, if you don't start right away, you miss out. Because everybody goes to that neighborhood.
That's most of the city of Bettendorf here in the Quad.
That doesn't surprise me. I'll never forget the very last year that I went trick-or-treating. I had like 3 or 4 of my friends over for an overnight with me, and we knew it was the last year, and we lived on a dead-end street, so we asked my dad, we're like, hey, can you take us over to this neighborhood here? We knew it was a big neighborhood, and that's where some of our friends lived, and they always told us, hey, our neighborhood is awesome for trick-or-treating. So he did. He took us over to this neighborhood, and we had fucking pillowcases full of just candy. It was awesome. I mean, I told my son this year too, because we live in a bigger neighborhood this year. I was like, you might want to bring a pillowcase this year for your candy needs, just because we were out walking the one day. I'm like, yeah, you might want to bring a pillowcase. just judging by, because this is our first year in this neighborhood, just judging by the way the neighborhood had been decorating for Halloween. I'm like, okay, people are going to participate in Halloween. This is going to be fun. And our neighbor told me the other day, last year they had between like 75 and 100 kids show up at their house last year. So I'm like, damn, that's more than the 15 we had last year.
Yeah. It's gonna be a really interesting Halloween in your neighborhood, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
That will be fun. It's funny too, because like at my age of 25, it's like you still could go trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna get any candy. You can still attempt. But
I'm 46. I'm getting all the candy I want.
Just wear a mask. They won't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it comes to that point where you're like, the parents are like, just quit. You're not getting any candy. You're
like, no, damn it, I'm having fun.
You're fourth of the way through life. You're done.
Oh no, this is just my costume. The beard's not naturally gray.
Yeah.
All right, so Vinny, I want to get back to like the cooking phase of it, because cooking is obviously like a big deal when it comes to diet and weight loss, and that was the one thing I think that really surprised me with the stuff that you do, and like the dudes like Cooking for Gains, even though he's a douchebag, and like your Stealth Health of the world, like those guys, their recipes they looked super simple. Like I was really stunned at how simple they were. Like just throw all the shit in a crock pot and boom. And I was like,
that's the thing, is that's why I stick with those recipes, is because they're just, especially like on a Sunday. Watch football. All you do is just throw that into the crock pot, let it cook for like 6 hours, come back to it later on during the day, mix everything in together, and just put it all in the container. Now, the hardest part of all of this is the cleanup.
Yeah.
It is like,
one thing that I will recommend for the crock pot use, get crock pot liners.
Yes, I've seen your photos that you send me, and I do see those. And I've always been like, I do want to do that, but it's also kind of nice because if you're trying to get that last little bit of like the pasta out,
right,
you can do that and just kind of like dump it into the container, and it works out so well. Because like instead of like me, I've got to like unplug the machine, let it cool down a bit so it's not going to burn my hand when I touch it. Try to lift the pot up from the inside and try to scoop it out.
Yeah.
It takes so much work. And then I look at your message you sent me, and I'm like, why don't I just get one of the liners? Probably makes it so much easier. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it's just amazing to me. Like, you never realize how easy the cooking can be. Like even one of my favorite recipes that I think it was Gaines that introduced was the air fryer breakfast meal that he's done in the past. That I think I've showed it to you. I know I've showed it to CZ a few times, but that's one of my favorites that he's done. It's an air fryer breakfast meal. It has hash browns in it, eggs, egg whites, bacon bits.
Oh, I think I've seen
cheese. Yeah, it's super simple and actually really filling. I'm like, that's been one of my favorite meals that Gaines has introduced us to.
His breakfast burritos with Raising Cane sauce has popped up on my feed all the time.
I know. Yep.
I'm at this point. I'm like, you know what? The sheet pan is not working anymore, because like the problem is that it sits in the thing for so long that when I reheat it up, it becomes like as stiff as cardboard.
Okay.
It becomes so hard to bite into. So I'm like, I need something that's like more like I don't know like what the word I'm looking for is. Something that's like more packed in, because like
there you go. Yep.
It's flat, so it doesn't cook as well. But if I have something that's more like dense almost, then it will cook better. So in the recipe that he showed with the breakfast burritos with the Raising Cane sauce, it looks like it's just packed. Yeah. So that's something I'm going to do this weekend, and I'm looking forward to doing it.
Yeah, I've seen that pop up on my feed here a lot lately too. Is that Raising Cane's one? I'm like, damn, that really does look good. I've never had that problem with the breakfast burritos on the sheet pan. I'm surprised you're having that issue.
It may just because it sits in my thing for so long that.
See, I let it. When mine gets done, I let it cool for 5 minutes and I cut it right away, and then I do Then I do everything. So I don't let it sit there usually. So that might be the big reason for it.
It's probably what it is, and I just suck at cooking, I guess.
No, I don't think that's the case. Zach, you mentioned that air fryer breakfast recipe. I tried that last week.
Did you? Nice.
His directions, it didn't cook all the way through for me. I had to put it back in twice.
Huh.
And I don't have big enough liners. Like my liner was a little bit too small for the air fryer. So I had egg all over the bottom.
Oh.
But on the cooking front, I want to ask this because I know I'm not alone in this sentiment. One of the hardest things for a lot of people, myself included, is portion control.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And when you look at some of those crock pot recipes, it's easy to dump things into a container, but how do you measure out portions? That's the big question that I want to ask.
That is actually the way that I do it is I try to find like the most like medium sized like container, and I kind of go just based on that, because like the ones that I have are like 24 ounce.
Okay.
And it may not fill up 10, but if it's
close enough.
Yeah,
close
exactly.
Enough.
If it's enough there, then to me that's about the right portion size. They usually say like measure out the crock pot with all the stuff in it, and then like divide that by like 10 or something like that, and that's how you should get your measurements. But the problem that I have is that all of these like food, like these like protein based people, they measure out in grams.
I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate it.
And I'm always just like, can you just say like tablespoons or cups or something?
Especially when they're fucking American.
Yes, exactly. I'm saying that. It's so much as like, we are Americans. We use different metrics. We don't say kilometers. We say miles.
I don't weigh myself in stones.
Exactly.
Well, that was a big reason. That was a big reason too. I did get a digital scale, so that does say grams, so I can actually measure it in grams. But yeah, I have like a app that can convert it from grams to ounces or cups or what have you. But it's like, guys, you're American. Why are you using grams? Like, when the hell did that become a thing? And they all do it too. Like I would love to know the reason behind why they all use grams, because like you watch everybody, not just Stealth and Gaines, but you watch other people, they do the same thing. I'm like, why are we doing this in grams? I don't
like that one guy that lives with Gaines.
Yes, Ryan.
Yeah. He measures out in grams too. I'm like, Ryan.
Yeah.
It's just say I use about half a cup of yogurt or something like that. It's like, you don't need 400 grams or 60 grams. It's like, it's called cups. I can go on a giant rant about that.
Same here.
Yeah, I don't think we got the time.
All right, so I got to ask, out of all the meals that you've tried a lot, probably more than I have, from both Gaines and Stealth and Fairlife Eats. What's been, do you think I'll say your top 4? What's been your top 4 favorite meals that you like to make?
Oh man, that's tough. I definitely will say the one that I've enjoyed the most is Fair Fit Eats. Fair Fit Eats is buffalo chicken mac and cheese that I just made like a couple weeks ago. By far the best thing I've ever made. It's got the right kind of spiciness, the right amount of like buffalo chicken mix in there. Mm-hmm. And the way that I like dicing up the chicken breast first instead of just throwing the full chicken breast in the crock pot really does make the recipe actually a lot better. So that one for me is like easily one of the top ones that I've had. I'd say number 2 is probably Stealth's chorizo mac and cheese. Now that one I think you should try, Zach. It's actually really good.
Okay.
Because there's no chicken. It's just ground beef and pork chorizo. And chorizo has like that, like again, like that spiciness that really does capture the like perfect. It captures how good the food is.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I would also say Fairfield eats buffalo, like anything buffalo chicken is a win for me.
Yeah.
So his buffalo chicken burritos are also still good. And then I really, really enjoy I like the sheet pan breakfast burritos because it's simple. You just throw everything in one sheet pan,
Yep.
put it in the oven, and it comes out good. And they're flat enough to where like it's easy to roll.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Lately they just haven't been working for me. So I really want to try a new recipe.
Mhm.
But I definitely would go and say my like number 4 would probably have to be probably the Chipotle. It's like Chipotle honey Chipotle honey burritos from Fairfit.
Okay.
As you can see, I get my recipes from kind of just two main guys. Fairfit eats and self-help. I haven't really done any of Gaines' recipes yet.
Yeah.
I've wanted to, so I might. And the breakfast burritos with the cane sauce, I'm gonna try. So
yeah,
I hope that it comes out well.
I would say for mine, Stealth Pizza Mac has been right up there. The lasagna bowls that I just made like last weekend or whatever, those, oh my god, those were just chef's kiss. Those fucking lasagna bowls.
Were they good?
They were so good. Like I was just, it was even like I said, everything too that my wife has tried because I always make her taste tests before I even have a piece, and she's been impressed by. Everything.
You make her eat it before you do.
Yep.
So much bad that she's like,
because I know if she approves it, I know it'll be just as good. So
I feel like you're making her be the poison tester for you there. I'm just saying that now.
Sorry, dear. But the garlic butter Alfredo one that Stealth has as well is really good.
I haven't tried that one. I want to.
That one's really good. I've made that a couple times. That one's really good, especially me as somebody who loves like fettuccine Alfredo. Anytime I go to Olive Garden, that's my go-to is chicken fettuccine.
Is it pretty much close to fettuccine? Just
I would, yep. I would
okay.
say so.
I mean, because it's that thing of like they're not using like the same like fettuccine like or like Alfredo sauce.
Yeah,
it's got cottage cheese and all those kind of and like Parmesan.
Yeah.
It's like you try to get it as close as you can with what you have to work with.
Yeah,
as
long as you blend it up good enough, it's fine. Like
that's like the buffalo chicken is like it's one of those things if you can't tell that there's cottage cheese in it because if you mix it with like milk and buffalo sauce and cheddar cheese and like a mac and cheese packet. It's like you blend so many things together that like you don't realize that it's cottage cheese. You just taste it and you're like, oh, it's buffalo chicken. And it's like
because I've had people be like, oh, I hate plain cottage cheese. I'm like, okay, but this is mixed in with it's mixed in and you really don't taste the cottage cheese at all. So
it's funny also because like as a kid I would eat cottage cheese plain and then now it's like I hate it. Even though I put it with, and then it's so funny. It's ironic because you throw it in. You're basically eating cottage cheese when you put together like a burrito recipe or put together It's just ironic to me.
Oh, he's frozen. Okay, you froze for a little bit, honestly, there, buddy.
I think you froze.
Like the good old 56K modem days. But getting to my last two, I'd probably say, the breakfast burritos have been bomb. Even those one breakfast sandwiches that I made a few weeks ago, the actual like round, they were pretty much the same thing. They were just sheet pan, with the McMuffin sandwiches. Those were really damn good too. But
were they?
Yeah, so I enjoyed those quite a bit. The ones that I've been having trouble with, and I got to figure this out, because I love the ones that look like they make it with like the sausage patty. I can never figure out how much like of the sausage to actually like roll up and actually get into like the perfect, get it to equal the perfect amount that you need to make each sandwich.
Yeah, I've done one of those before. And really you kind of just like try to like measure it out like how it would fit on a like English muffin and just kind of go based on that. They say like roll on like 8-ounce patties, but it's like if you just kind of it's almost to me like rolling a meatball. Have you ever like rolled meatballs before?
It's been a long time.
See, when you grow up in an Italian family and you're doing like dishes for holidays, you have to
sure.
So, we roll pretty much about 8 to 10 ounces. So I've always just kind of like known like, okay, this is about how much I can use for 8 ounces. And I've kind of gone based on that when I do like my own patties and try to like, but it's so funny too. Cause like have you ever seen those chicken like smash or like smash like chicken tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we tried those one night. My dad tried it, and for some reason, he just couldn't make it work. And I'm always like, I don't know how. You have to pretty much just flatten it all out to the edge of the tortilla, and once it crisps up, it should like shrink enough. But I just don't understand how it does not work.
Huh.
It's clearly something that he's doing wrong.
I mean, I haven't done anywhere near as much meal prepping as I should. I did make what was it? It was a chicken Alfredo that Zach sent me with like bow tie pasta, and that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I said, I tried the air fryer egg recipe. It tasted good when it was fully cooked finally, but I had to put it back in the air fryer for a few minutes, a couple times to get it to, because it was on the bottom. So what I did, I took it out. I'm glad I did it this way. I flipped it onto a plate, and I saw, oh, there's a big round spot that's all just liquid egg. We got to put that back
in. Well, I'm surprised that you have that issue. Every time I've made the air fryer recipe, I've never had that issue. So that's surprising that you had.
Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong, but.
All right, so Vinny, this podcast is also wrestling, hence the name Wrestling with Fitness. Yeah. And that's how you and I met, was through wrestling, going to independent shows and like I said, all the good old Forte Dome shows. And let's kind of talk about your wrestling fandom a little bit. How'd you get into it? How long have you been a wrestling fan? All those fun things.
Yeah, absolutely. So back then, I actually wasn't allowed to watch wrestling. I actually was forbidden to watch wrestling because my parents had always seen these things about these kids try wrestling moves on their siblings and they break their siblings back, or they actually kill their siblings. So they were always worried that I would do the exact same thing because of my ADHD and just hyperness. So I'd have to sneak watch it. And when you sneak watch it and you miss dates, you don't know what's happening in the storyline.
Yeah.
So I always remember just, I'd see like an episode when Edge and Chris Jericho would be going against each other, or it would be another John Cena, Randy Orton feud. And then I think as I got older, my parents just kind of laid off on it. And I watched a little bit more. And then
once they realized you weren't killing your siblings, you were good to go.
It came to a point once where I was doing a choke slam on my brother on my parents' bed, and they have a little wooden backboard. And I accidentally might have gone a little too far back, and like his head like scraped against the wood. Oh, let me just tell you, it was an interesting night. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So you can imagine.
I was gonna say you probably got grounded that day, huh?
Grounding was the least of my worries. But yeah, I think as I got older, they just kind of laid off on it, and I just watched it more and got more into the storyline. And then I went to my first ever event in Des Moines, and I think it was like 2016 or 2017. And then ever since then, I've just been a big fan. And then it came to the point where I had been wanting to see more wrestling, so I actually looked up if there was wrestling, like pro wrestling in Des Moines, and lo and behold, I actually found 3XW that way.
Okay.
My first ever 3XW event, November of my senior year, and ever since then, I've just been a huge fan. Went to pretty much every show that happened in 2019, and then October was when I found IPW, because I was like looking for like other ones because they weren't 3XW wasn't holding an event in October. And so I decided then to look up different promotions, and I found IPW, and I found out that Jeremy Wyatt was wrestling, and I've always had beef with Jeremy Wyatt. If you look back at like some old 3XW events, it's always beef between me and him. I was called Karen relentlessly. Yeah. So,
well, hey, at least he didn't remove your chair. You've seen that meme, haven't you?
Video, it's such an amazing video. It probably would happen to me one time, but I don't know. But that's how I got into it. And then COVID hit, and of course, the only thing they were doing at that point was doing the shows at the training facility, wherever that is. I think I can't remember exactly where they do the training at. If it's like Knoxville or something. because I can't remember. I thought it was somewhere. Joey might have told me, but basically, then they started. I think it was 2021 or 2020, but they did the county fair shows. And with those, I was like, well, I'm not seeing any wrestling. WWE's holding at the Thunderdome, and it sucks. So
we don't talk about the Thunderdome.
That era's forgotten. We don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I got. That's like how I got back into going to wrestling, and it came to the point where I kept like seeing like, I couldn't be a professional wrestler, but what about doing something like what Paul Heyman does? Like being like, the like manager of somebody.
Yeah.
So I remember like in 2020, I was putting out fake promos for matches. Of course, I just kind of ad-libbed everything. I didn't go through a script or anything. But I kind of gave that up, and I just am like, yeah, I'm a fan. I'm never going to be in the business. Maybe a commentator one day, but I'm hoping that something could happen in the future. But as of right now, I'm a big fan.
What grabbed your attention with the current wrestling product? What are you watching the most out of?
I don't really watch it as much as I want to. I try to get to WWE Raw every now and then, but I just haven't been a kick on it lately. With football season back, Monday Night Football just takes up way too much of my time, especially when I'm in fantasy. Especially when you're freaking up by 0.8 and the guy you're playing has one player left, and that player happens to be Patrick Mahomes.
Who just went off in the second half.
Yeah, I was so confident with his 2 interceptions, like I might have a chance to win this game. And then are you kidding me? He saved it until the end. But yeah, I try to get involved with wrestling with the WWE. I try to watch SmackDown occasionally, but I lose time, especially like working multiple jobs. You lose track of your time.
Well, the worst part is too, man, there's just so much. I mean, It's not, and it's a great problem to have. Don't get me wrong. It's a great problem to have. It's just, you really do have to pick and choose what to watch, which again, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I'm like, I've had this conversation with CZ for off and on here the last 6 months or so. It's like, I was so amped for AEW because we were finally getting legit competition to WWE. And it's like over the last year and a half or whatever, I just don't know. I don't know what it is. I tune in maybe once a month just to kind of see what's going on. But for the most part, I'm like, I just kind of see that through my Twitter feed. Now, I will say, if they come to Des Moines or Cedar Rapids, I'll go. For one, it's affordable. Exactly. For one, it's affordable. WWE, I'm outpriced. WWE has officially outpriced me. I'm probably done going to WWE shows, which is fine. I've been in my fair share.
Yeah.
And I know with AEW, when I go live, I'm going to see a fun show. So that's why I'm like, okay, I will pay the money to go to the Wells Fargo or go to the Cedar Rapids here, which I was actually really shocked they brought Collision here last year.
Yeah,
and it had a great turnout too. I thought it had a better turnout here than the Des Moines taping for Dynamite did. So I'm hoping that Tony and them will bring a lot TV taping back here, because that was a lot. I thought that was a lot of fun just to have a TV wrestling back in Cedar Rapids again. But
yeah, and it's funny too because you brought this up that AEW's kind of fallen. I remember when they were like freshly new, because like when did they start as a company? It was like
2019, 18, somewhere in there.
I remember like when COVID hit, they were going off.
Yeah,
their events were amazing and heavily.
Even in the empty Jacksonville Stadium, like I thought they were doing better TV than WWE was with that stupid fucking screen that I want to punch in the face.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I just remember like AEW was like at the top, like was bigger than almost bigger than the WWE at one point. But like you said, they've just slowly declined over the past like couple years. But you look back at like the talent that they had in like at the start of it. They had Cody Rhodes, they had Dustin Rhodes, they had like all those big name guys, and they've all just kind of collectively left the company almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you lose those talents that got you the views And then now you have to bring in this new talent who aren't getting you the views.
Right.
That's because they're not building them well, though.
Right, because they're debuting these XWB guys, which again WCW and WWE both did it too, and they still do it. They debut these guys and they're hot for maybe a month, and then it goes back to okay, they're just lost in the shuffle.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna use Deonna Purrazzo as a great example. When she signed with AEW, I said right away, it's not a good move. I would have rather her either stayed in TNA or gone to NXT. I think either one of those companies would have utilized her better because I think now Deanna's getting, I would say downgraded because it is a downgraded to Ring of Honor. And I'm like, I was really shocked when, again, she signed over there. Like, I get you were all super hyped for it, but then again, much like a lot of other people, she's just kind of fizzled out of the picture. And now, unfortunately, is down in Ring of Honor.
And aside from Athena, Ring of Honor just really doesn't have shit.
Yeah, Athena and Billy Starks are their two most popular women that they have.
I can remember when Kevin Owens was in Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
I miss those days.
We had Kevin Owens booked to do an interview on Shotgun Wrestling Radio. Had it all set up, had it lined up, even had his phone number to call him for the interview. We go to call him, ghosted.
Bro.
Yeah, it was such a heartbreaker. And he was like, and he, the reason, I mean, he said he was taking care of like family matters or whatever. And he asked if he wanted to reschedule. And we just kind of said, nah, it's fine. But yeah, I was like, that was one looking back. I'm like, damn, I wish we would have been able to get that one. But I get it. But yeah, that's all.
It happen in the future though. I mean, it's entirely possible that maybe if you run into it again and say, hey, I was with Shotgun Wrestling, we were going to do an interview with you, and you
ghosted me.
Yeah, but it's entirely possible that possibly in the future,
maybe. But that was one of those gut punches to us where it was like, that's why it's like for us, we never really like to promote like who we were gonna have on just in case something like that happened because you really hype it up, and then boom, the dreaded, pun intended, Chris, card subject to change.
Yep. I may book months in advance, but I don't announce the guest until the show before.
Right.
It's not even the middle of the week.
You guys booked me like 2 months ago almost. So yeah, and it took till like a week ago to start promoting it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. When I book shows, I book far out because I'm a planner, but anything can happen, and I'm very good about keeping in touch with people we have on the show, on Card Subject to Change or here on Wrestling with Fitness, wherever, because I've lost interviews by not talking to them until a week out, and then, oh no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Forget you.
Yeah, that's always sucked.
And sometimes it's not even an I'm sorry, it's a, oh no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So, Vinny, I was going to ask you this too. I've been asking all of our guests this here recently. We're in the final couple months, couple weeks, few appearances of the legendary John Cena.
Ooh.
Who do you think? I feel like we all kind of know who it's leaning towards. It's going to be. Who do you think should be the final opponent? And do you think that final opponent should go over, or do you think Cena should go over?
I mean, as much as I think this rivalry has run its course, he's always had the biggest feud that I've seen with Randy. I think his last opponent should be Randy. He had all the stuff that happened, back then with, I remember the I Quit match. That was one of the first actually events that I saw. That he had the whole stint with the WWE World Heavyweight title that happened like I don't know what year that was. I remember bearded Randy Orton. But yeah, he's always had that feud with Randy, and I've always loved watching that. And I feel like it brought in the viewership. So my honest opinion, I think Randy would be the best opponent. And I really do think for his last event, it has to be Cena. Just, you got to go out on top. So I'd say Randy Orton and Cena goes out on top.
See, I still feel like it's going to be Gunther, and I feel like Gunther's going to go over, even though Gunther doesn't need the rub.
Gunther has it's always. I'm gonna rant a little bit here.
Go for it.
Gunther has always been the most annoying wrestler to me. He has given every single opportunity. He's been one of the longest. What was he like? The longest reigning Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
And then he loses it. He loses it to I think Sammy or Jay. And then a month later he gets it back. It's like, what was the point?
Yeah.
You gave him that whole push. Give it up. Just stop. To me, it's just he's over pushed, and I don't know why. It's annoyed me so much. He's been at the top of the ranks for almost every championship, and yet somehow, even when he loses it a month later, they're like, "Oh, let's just give it back to him." It's like, why? Nobody wants to watch him win anymore.
Shout out to my co-host on Cards of Change, Never Wrong, Nick Bull. If you're watching this, the views of our guests do not reflect the views of Wrestling and Fitness. Nick is the biggest Gunther fan I know.
Look, I got nothing against Gunther fans. I just have everything against Gunther. For me, it's just me personally that I just think he's pushed too much, and WWE just has to stop. Put him in. Yes, I'll give him credit. He's a decent wrestler. But he just keeps winning the titles when he loses them a week before. It's like the Brock Lesnar effect. He loses the title, comes back a month later, and just wins. And then he's gone for a majority of the year. Because I can remember back when they used to do it, where when Brock Lesnar was champion at say Survivor Series, the main event would not be a title match. It would be a number one contender match for who would face him at the next pay-per-view.
Which would usually be the Royal Rumble. So you wouldn't see Brock for 3 months. I'm like, he's the fucking champion. I remember back in the day.
He would show up to the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, or Survivor Series. It'd be those 4 main events that would have him. Everything else was all number one contender match or no championship mention at all.
I will counter that. At least Gunther was around for the majority of his reign. And the only reason he's gone now is he was given some time off.
Yeah.
Here's my spin on John Cena. And I haven't said this. This is something Nick and I have been throwing around. Dominic Mysterio is his opponent at Survivor Series. He wins the Intercontinental Championship, and Gunther takes it off him on Saturday night's main event in December.
Ooh.
That actually
because that would make wouldn't that make?
Do you know what would be cool? Okay, so I remember this also. I remember when CM Punk won the title from John Cena. It was at the Money in the Bank. I think it was
2011.
Yes. And I remember that a week later, or I think it was that week, that they held a championship, what is that word I'm looking for? But they held a tournament.
Yeah.
And I remember that it came down to The Miz versus Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio won the championship that night. And then that's the week that Triple H took over from Vince McMahon. And I remember that night he held another championship match, Cena versus Mysterio, and Cena won the title from Mysterio. I'd like to see another match between Cena and Mysterio because I feel like those guys at their age can still put on a hell of an event.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be down to see Rey Mysterio fight Cena one more time.
So let me ask you this, as we're talking about champions and championships and matches and things like that. Who wins this coming Saturday between Uso and Punk for the vacant title? In my opinion, because CZ and I were talking about this before we went on air, it has to be Punk, in my opinion, because if not now, when?
That's a good point. I mean, here's the thing. Uso is still, I'm going to use quotes, young.
Yeah.
If you look at him compared to Punk or Cena or Orton or anybody like that, he's young. He's still got a long career ahead of him.
Yep.
I just feel like at this point, give Punk what he wants.
Yep.
Which is that title.
And what he's earned. I mean, he's been really, from what we've heard, nothing but pleasant since returning to WWE. And if he's getting towards that tail end of his career, I say let him win it at Saturday night's main event this week. Let him hold it all the way through until WrestleMania. And if Seth can come back at WrestleMania, have Seth and Punk do a final blow-off match. Yeah. And then, go from there.
That's what I think is I think Seth, because his injury was what again? Remind me.
Something with the shoulder. Because when he did that move. He planted his arm, which he probably shouldn't have done, and it just like popped something.
I think that could easily take about 6 months to heal.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Because I thought I'd read it. He was probably gonna miss WrestleMania. That's what I thought I had read.
I think he's gonna like do all the physical therapy he can to get himself back into the ring.
Be like the Super Cena when Cena returned at the Royal Rumble that year when he was supposed to be out for like 7 months.
I still say that's the greatest Royal Rumble return of all time. And I wasn't able to watch it because I remember I was forbidden to watch it. And also, it happened in like, 2005, 2006?
Yeah, it was. I want to think it was even after that because I remember watching it in our first apartment that we had together. And it was like one of the very first pay-per-views that me as an adult on my own ordered. That was back in the day where you actually had to order the pay-per-view. And I remember because all the reports had said, oh yeah, Cena's going to be out for 6 months. Cena's out for 6 months. So when he came, everybody's jaws just dropped, and when he came out, he just pointed at his shoulder, was like, incredible. It was just an incredible return.
But I've seen like videos of that, and JR's commentary on that was by far the best.
Yep.
Like I can say this with certainty that the commentary team of Jerry and JR, it can't be beat. Like I can say this, Pat McAfee's good.
Mm-hmm. I'm a McAfee fan, yeah.
But I just feel like Jerry and Jim had the right amount of like connection with each other.
So when ranking commentary teams, I always put Gorilla and Bobby first, just because growing up, that was kind of the voice of my childhood, more or less, was Gorilla and Bobby. And I don't
be quiet.
Yes. And I don't think people gave Vince enough credit either. Vince was a pretty damn good commentator. Like those early WWE, those early 90s years and through up until about 97 when he finally revealed himself as the owner, Vince was a damn good commentator. Oh, what a maneuver. I mean, I try to throw that line out every time, at least once, whenever I'm doing commentary.
Yeah. Do you remember the stint for a while when Michael Cole was in a feud with Jerry Lawler? And
I hated it. I hated that so much.
Really?
I hated that so much.
The Cole era that I hate the most was the Miz ass kissing.
Oh yeah, that was. I mean, I'm a Miz fan. I love Miz. I've been.
Miz is a great wrestler and a great just entertainer.
Yeah. I've been a Miz fan since he was on the show The Real World. So when he actually did make it to WWE, because I used to watch Real World and all the challenge shows, the reason I loved Miz was because he admitted to his wrestling fandom and really took that to heart, and that's why I was like, that's my guy. And it used to drive Greg nuts how much of a Miz fan I was. Just drove him nuts. The night he finally won the title, Greg was just disgusted. I'm like, oh, this is so great. Miz just won the title.
I remember there was a moment that I always remember when I watched. It was when I think it was the night after Extreme Rules when it was the steel cage match between Cena, Miz, and John Morrison. And I think it was the night after. It was like something to do. But I remember watching, and Miz won against Cena because he used the title to knock Cena out. And I remember breaking down in my room because I was like, no. And I remember Alex Riley comes in and throws up the Miz's hand, and the title falls out. And the ref points at it. He's like, you used that title, didn't you? And I remember like, yes. Off the match, and I was like, and my mom was like, "What are you screaming at?" I'm like, "Look, Cena's gonna win."
And your mom just shook her head and said, "Oh, Vinny."
Yes, exactly. But that's the one moment I remember. It was that, and when it was Survivor Series, and it was Cena versus The Miz to see who would be the captain of Team Raw, and that was when. It was Husky Harris and Michael McGillicuddy, who we now know as Bray Wyatt and Curtis Axel.
Yep.
They attacked Cena, and that's how Miz won. I remember breaking down then too. But it's those Cena Miz moments that stick with me, especially his over the limit match, the I Quit match. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was good because because it was kind of the same trick that happened with Mick Foley and The Rock back in like the 90s.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Rock
with the microphone in, and they use the recorder. Yep.
Yeah, and they did the exact same thing at that match, and I think that's one of the most brilliant tactics to use.
We really haven't
that
seen
and
it
Eddie
since.
Guerrero's smack the chair on the
Yep.
mat and throw it to your opponent and pretend to be knocked out.
Yep.
Like those moments
never get old.
It really shows
Never
how entertaining WWE can be, but how like honestly just perfect writing it can be.
Yep.
Like those are the ones that stick with you when you watch as like a young kid.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, dude, we don't got a whole lot of time left. We kind of like keep this right at about an hour.
Yeah.
Where can people follow you? I know you do have a cooking page. I know you. I don't feel like you update it on Facebook as much as you should.
I know.
But I know you're more up. I know you're more up to date on your TikTok though.
Yes. So you can follow me Cooking with Vinnie on TikTok. I try to update about every week. I've been kind of behind lately, but I'm going to get back to it as soon as I can. Cooking with Vinnie on Facebook, Cooking with Vinnie on Instagram. If you want to follow my main page where I post my production team, we do a thing called One Good Question. If you want to see those, you can follow me at Vinnie.Cataldo or Vinnie.Cataldo 18 or something like that. Our Scald Stone production team, Scald Stone Productions, SKALDSTONE. If you just look that up, we have all of our stuff on there. Our podcast is on there. But yeah, those are pretty much the places that people can find me.
Awesome. Well, before we completely wrap things up, we got some stuff to plug, as always. I'm going to start with a premiere announcement. Zach and I, you get a double dose of us next month, because not only will we have our last episode of Wrestling with Fitness for the year on November 19th, we're going to be in Waterloo. We've got the pre-show podcast Party 7, Zach. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Another Shotgun Wrestling and Card Subject to Change joint production there.
Always good to get back to good old Waterloo.
Yes, I agree. I can't wait. I love everything about Absolute Pro Wrestling, and I'm excited to get back up to Waterloo for a night. That'll be a lot of fun. Over on the Card Subject to Change this Sunday, we have a former guest of Wrestling with Fitness joining us, the Golden God, Bryce Jordan. I'm excited about that. That's at 6:30 Sunday. And Nick and I are back on Tuesday with Joe Winkle for our newest show, Wrestlebacks. Episode 3, we are talking about Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi. I'm excited. This is the first time we've gone outside of the WWE. Going over to Ring of Honor. I'm excited for that. Zach, I'll kind of toss things over to you. What's going on your side of things?
Not much. Been pretty quiet here on the Shotgun Wrestling Radio front. I did book a guest for next week here, so I should have a new episode out here next week. So that's going to be exciting, and hopefully I'll have some more episodes out, because November is kind of a busy month for Iowa Independent Wrestling, which is good to see. I think that date, Chris, on November 15th, I think there's 3 or 4 different promotions alone running between Iowa and like Minnesota that have Iowa ties. So yeah, I believe there's like 3 or 4 on November 15th. So,
and that's the thing with November, it's kind of the big final push of the year, because at least here in the Midwest, most promotions take a month and a half off or so.
Yep.
Just because of winter weather.
Yeah, you just don't
know.
And
holidays. So.
Yep. Yeah. Not a lot of people tend to run in December, or if they do, it's early December when the weather is probably not going to be as bad. You have a better shot of it not being as bad. And then, a lot of people don't typically run shows in January either, because January can be most of the time hit or miss. So,
and coming up for us on November, I mentioned that we're going to be a week early in November, just because the last Wednesday falls the night before Thanksgiving. We want to make sure everybody enjoys their holiday. That's also why we're not going to have a show in December, because the last Wednesday is New Year's Eve. So, But coming up in November on Wrestling with Fitness, we have a California-based color commentator. He is the Diamond Standard of color commentary, Mr. Doc Haywood. I know him. He's followed our page. I've talked with him multiple times over the last month. He's big into DDPY, so I'm anxious to pick his brain about that.
Absolutely, and hopefully get some more tips on how to increase your DDPY usage as well.
Absolutely, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. But that's going to do it for this episode of Wrestling with Fitness. Again, I want to thank the For Frequency Sake Podcast Network for hosting the show. Very grateful that they let us run on their platform. And until then, we will see you next time. Go out there and enjoy your fitness journey.
This has been a For Frequency Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.